Right, it's time to say hello to tonight's guest. One starred in the Oscar-winning film The Pianist before becoming a fan favourite on Coronation Street, and the other rose to fame on Game of Thrones before starring in The Worst Witch and The Last of Us.
Yeah, please welcome Dame Maureen Lipman and Bella Ramsey.
Bella, we've got to ask you, because we just saw Aisha with her driving instructor,
Yes.
and you are taking lessons yourself.
Yeah, I failed 2 tests already.
Oh!
It's fine, I keep looking for cancellations on the app. Yeah, it's fun. I do enjoy it, though.
Yeah?
When I don't, like, go in the wrong lane and pull out at roundabouts when I'm not supposed to. It's pretty fun.
Is that what happened on your test?
Yeah.
Third time lucky. Third time lucky.
Exactly. I like the number 3,
There
so
we
I'm
go.
hopeful.
Bella, it's time to talk to you about your show, The Last of Us. I mean, this is epic, massive show, one of the biggest shows in the world right now. It's actually based on a video game, right?
It is.
Yeah, I mean, tell us a little bit about the show, not the video game, because I know they're linked, but the show.
Yeah, so it's based on the video game. It's basically, it follows the story of, well, Joel meets Ellie. Joel is like a hardened survivor, and Ellie is a young, like, teenage brat, really, who just, like, loves puns too much. And they travel across America together in search of a cure for the virus, which is infected the world, essentially. It's got a post-apocalyptic backdrop, and but it's really, like, a story about love, I guess, in all its forms. Like, its beautiful forms and its violent forms. It's really interesting.
Yeah. So you play Ellie. Joel is played by Pedro Pascal,
Yes.
who is
Legend.
Sensational,
Yes.
isn't he?
I
what is the story between the two of them? We've just watched the beginning of it, so we kind of know. But for anybody at home that hasn't seen it, they are the 2 lead characters, but they don't know each other immediately, do they?
They don't know each other. They don't like each other initially. But what follows is, like, I guess a sort of love story between the 2 of them unfolds. They just, like, it's almost like a father-daughter bond. Yeah, they don't know each other, and they definitely don't like each other at the beginning.
I watched it in the daytime because I'm not very good at
smart.
scary things. But I was still very anxious, very much on the edge of my seat, very much like, can I watch, like... What's it like when you're filming things like that? When you've got these kind of zombie-like creatures, because they're quick as well.
Oh, they're quick.
Just
and
flying at you.
the actors that play them are quick and incredibly talented. It's terrifying. I mean, it's actually, I found it even more terrifying watching it back, because I remember how I felt, and now it's also been, like, enhanced with CGI and stuff. It's incredible. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
It really is scary. Although I've got a little dog, Skipper, but we did, like, there was like a Halloween dress-up day, and she was more afraid of, like, a guy dressed up as Super Mario than she was of, like, the clickers. So maybe dogs and clickers aren't so... I don't know what I'm saying.
Just click if you're in trouble.
Just click, yeah.
Now, your character, Ellie,
Yeah.
American accent, obviously.
Yes.
But I hear you grew quite attached to this American accent and struggled to shake it off.
I did, yeah. I would wake up speaking American. It happened last week. I'm living back home. I don't know why it's happening. Yeah, it's I'm determined to stay British, but it's difficult when I'm around people with American accents. I do find myself slipping into it quite easily.
Maureen, is that an occupational hazard? With the amount of characters you've played, with the amount of accents that you have done, do you find yourself kind of slipping back, or people asking to hear certain people that you've been over the years?
Oh, yeah.
You take a bit of it home, and sometimes it's a nice character, and sometimes, you know, when I was playing Joyce Grenfell for all those years, if someone cut me up in the car, you know, instead of the usual... You know, the usual thing that, you know, I say, oh, I say, you know, that's frightfully rude, you know, and it does. I also found myself a much nicer person when I was playing Joyce.
I was such a huge fan of Joyce Grenfell.
Really?
Yeah, I did, like, a Joyce Grenfell monologue when I was, like, 7 or something. I just loved it.
Wow.
Did you?
Yeah, it was so cool.
Well, sometimes if I go into a situation where there's children and they're all talking at once, and I'll just say, children, children, gather round, because we're going to do our lovely moving to music. And
Especially Game of Thrones, anyway.
You know, a lot of it is much the same. There's not really that much... I guess the changes really have been that I've been travelling around a bit more. I never really liked flying, and I was sort of afraid of it, and I've had to get used to that.
Better clothes?
yeah, I wouldn't be... Yeah,
look the
better
part.
clothes. And getting recognised more. I guess that's the thing that's different. And since The Last of Us has come out, it's become more consistent. It's now sort of every time I go out. But other than that, like, my life is very much the same, which is nice.